Kia has packed some genuinely clever technology into its lineup over the last decade. But a handful of these features come with a hidden catch that most owners never hear about until it's already cost them money. Some of it isn't the feature's fault, so much as how drivers use it or ignore it. But the end result is the same either way: a shorter engine life, a bigger repair bill, or both. Stay with me, because feature number 4 alone has led to more surprise transmission bills than almost anything else on this list. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to watch for on your own Kia. None of what follows is about scaring you away from the brand. It's about understanding the specific habits and blind spots that turn a perfectly well-engineered feature into an expensive problem, so you can get the fuel savings, the performance, and the convenience these features were actually built to deliver, without paying for it later in a repair bay. Feature number 1. Auto Start Stop. Auto Start Stop is designed to shut the engine off automatically at red lights and stop-and-go traffic, then fire it back up the instant you lift off the brake. It's a genuinely good idea for fuel economy and emissions, but it puts a dramatically higher workload on two components that weren't originally engineered for that kind of duty cycle: the starter motor and the battery. A conventional car might start its engine a handful of times per day. A Kia with start-stop active in heavy city traffic can cycle the engine on and off dozens, sometimes over 100 times in a single commute. Kia compensates for this with a beefier starter and an AGM, or absorbent glass mat, battery designed for deep cycling. The problem shows up when owners replace a dead battery with a cheap standard flooded cell battery instead of the correct AGM spec, either because a parts store swapped it without asking, or because the AGM version costs more. That mismatched battery degrades quickly under the start-stop cycle. The system starts throwing warnings, and a lot of owners respond by disabling start-stop entirely rather than paying for the correct battery, which defeats the point but also stops the excess wear. If you own a Kia with this feature, the fix is simple. Always replace the battery with the exact AGM specification listed in the owner's manual. And don't let a bargain price talk you into a standard battery that looks similar on the shelf. It's also worth knowing that start-stop temporarily disables itself in certain conditions, like when the cabin hasn't reached your set climate temperature yet, when the battery charge is low, or when the engine hasn't fully warmed up. If you notice the feature isn't engaging at a red light, that's often the car protecting itself rather than a malfunction. And it's a far better outcome than the system running when conditions genuinely aren't right for it. Feature number 2. Gasoline direct injection. Direct injection sprays fuel straight into the combustion chamber instead of the intake port, which improves power and efficiency compared to older port-injected engines. The trade-off that almost nobody explains to new owners is that direct injection engines lose the natural detergent effect that port-injected fuel used to provide, where fuel washing over the back of the intake valves helped keep them clean. Without that washing effect, carbon deposits build up on the intake valves over time from oil vapor in the crankcase ventilation system. On a neglected engine, this carbon buildup can get thick enough to disrupt airflow and fuel atomization, leading to rough idle, hesitation, misfires, and reduced power, sometimes as early as 60 to 80,000 miles, depending on driving style and oil quality. The repair, commonly called walnut blasting, involves physically removing the intake manifold and media blasting the carbon off each valve by hand, which is a labor-intensive job that isn't cheap. You can push this problem back significantly by using top-tier detergent gasoline, avoiding constant short trips that never let the engine reach full operating temperature, and sticking to full synthetic oil on schedule, since oil quality has a direct effect on how much vapor makes it into the intake tract in the first place. Some owners also add a preventative fuel system cleaner every few oil changes, or run an intake cleaning service every 30 to 40,000 miles as a proactive step rather than waiting for symptoms to show up. It's a fraction of the cost of a full walnut blasting job, and for a car you plan on keeping long-term, it's one of the cheapest insurance policies available against this particular design trade-off. Feature number 3. The small turbocharged engine. Kia's turbocharged 1.6-liter four-cylinder, found across the Fort GT, Seltos, Soul GT line, and several other trims, delivers genuinely strong performance for its size. But a small turbocharged engine runs hotter and under more stress per cubic inch than a larger naturally aspirated engine doing the same job. The turbocharger itself spins at extremely high speed and relies on a constant, clean supply of oil to keep its bearings alive. Owners who stretch oil change intervals past the recommended schedule or who use a lower-grade oil than what's specified are gambling directly with the turbocharger's lifespan, since degraded oil loses its ability to lubricate and cool the turbo bearings effectively. Shutting the engine off immediately after hard highway driving without giving the turbo a short cool-down period at idle has the same effect, essentially cooking the oil sitting inside the hot turbo housing. If you drive a turbocharged Kia, treat the oil change interval as a hard limit rather than a suggestion. Use the exact oil weight specified in the manual, and get in the habit of letting the engine idle for 30 seconds to a minute after aggressive highway driving before you shut it off. Towing or carrying heavy loads compounds the stress on a small turbocharged engine even further, since the turbo has to work harder for longer stretches to maintain boost under load. If your Kia is regularly hauling a full cabin of passengers, cargo, or a light trailer, consider shortening your oil interval beyond even the severe duty schedule listed in the manual, since that kind of driving pushes the engine closer to the demanding end of what it was designed to handle. Feature number 4, the dual clutch transmission. Several Kia models, including certain Forte and Soul GT line trims, use a dual clutch transmission instead of a traditional automatic or a conventional CVT. A dual clutch gearbox can deliver quicker, more efficient shifts than a torquey converter automatic, but it behaves fundamentally differently in stop-and-go traffic, and that difference is exactly where most of the damage happens. Because a dual clutch transmission uses actual clutch packs similar to a manual gearbox rather than a fluid coupling, creeping forward slowly in heavy traffic, riding the brake while partially engaging the clutch causes real friction wear on those clutch packs, the same way riding a manual transmission's clutch would. Drivers coming from a traditional automatic often don't realize this and treat stop-and-go traffic the same way they always have, not knowing they're grinding down an expensive component every time they do it. On top of that, dual clutch transmission fluid has its own service interval separate from engine oil, and it's a step owners frequently skip entirely because it doesn't get the same attention as an oil change. Skipping it accelerates wear on the clutch packs and the mechatronic control unit. And a mechatronic unit replacement is one of the more expensive repairs you can run into on these models. If you own one of these transmissions, follow the fluid service interval exactly, and in heavy traffic, come to a full stop rather than creeping continuously. A quick way to check whether you're already driving in a way that stresses the clutch packs is to pay attention to any faint hesitation, shudder, or delayed response when pulling away from a stop in heavy traffic. That hesitation is often the transmission's own protective software trying to manage clutch temperature, and it's a signal worth respecting rather than working around by feathering the accelerator more aggressively. Feature number 5, the panoramic sunroof. A panoramic sunroof is one of the most popular options across Kia's lineup, and it's also one of the most commonly neglected. Every sunroof, panoramic or otherwise, has a set of small drainage tubes running from each corner of the sunroof frame down through the vehicle's pillars to release water at the bottom, keeping rain and condensation from pooling inside the roof structure. Those drain tubes are narrow, and over years of exposure to dust, leaves, pollen, and general road grime, they clog. Once a drain tube clogs, water that used to drain harmlessly instead backs up and finds its way into the headliner, down the A or C pillar, and eventually into the carpet or worse, directly onto electrical connectors and control modules tucked under the dash or behind interior panels. Owners often don't notice until they see a damp carpet after a heavy rain, or start getting intermittent electrical glitches that a mechanic struggles to diagnose, because the actual cause, water intrusion, isn't obvious from the symptom. The fix costs almost nothing. Once or twice a year, use a length of weed trimmer line or a can of compressed air to clear the drain tubes, usually accessible from the corners of the sunroof opening or from underneath the vehicle near the rocker panels. It's a 5-minute job that prevents what can otherwise turn into thousands of dollars in interior and electrical repair. If you already suspect a clog, a simple test is to pour a small amount of water directly onto the sunroof track with the sunroof closed and watch underneath the vehicle for it to emerge near the bottom of the front or rear pillars within a minute or two. If nothing comes out, that drain is blocked, and it's worth having a shop clear it properly, rather than waiting for the next heavy rainstorm to find out the hard way. Feature number 6, the knock sensor detection system. This one is unusual because it's technically a safety feature, not a flaw, but how owners react to it is what causes the damage. Kia rolled out the knock sensor detection system as a software update on certain GDI engines to catch early signs of internal bearing wear, the same failure pattern behind a wave of high-profile engine recalls earlier in the decade. When the system detects the telltale knock signature, it throws a warning light and, on updated versions, automatically limits engine power to protect the engine until it can be serviced. The mistake a surprising number of owners make is treating that warning light as an annoyance rather than a serious alert. Sometimes even having a shop clear the code without investigating the underlying cause, or continuing to drive normally because the car still technically runs. That's exactly backwards. This system exists specifically because the failure it's watching for can progress from a faint knock to a seized engine in a relatively short window of continued driving. If this warning ever comes up on your dash, treat it as urgent. Get the vehicle to a Kia dealer or a trusted independent mechanic immediately. Don't clear the code without a proper diagnosis, and don't assume that because the car is still driving normally today, it will be tomorrow. It's also worth checking if you own an affected model, whether the software update itself has actually been installed on your vehicle, since not every eligible car received it automatically. A quick call to a Kia dealer with your vehicle identification number in hand will confirm whether the update and the extra layer of protection it provides is already active on your car. Feature number 7. Aggressive factory maintenance intervals. This last one isn't a physical feature so much as a policy, but it belongs on this list because it quietly undermines everything else. Kia's official maintenance schedule for oil changes on many models lists intervals that stretch out considerably farther than what independent mechanics recommend for engines running direct injection and, in some cases, turbocharging. Manufacturers set these longer intervals partly based on lab testing under ideal conditions, and partly because longer intervals look better in ownership cost comparisons against competitors. The catch is that ideal conditions rarely match real-world driving, especially in stop-and-go city traffic, extreme heat, towing, or short trips that never let the oil reach full operating temperature to burn off condensation and fuel dilution. Owners who follow the factory interval to the letter without adjusting for their actual driving conditions often find carbon buildup, turbo wear, and bearing wear all showing up earlier than expected. Exactly the problems the earlier items on this list already described. The safest approach is to treat the factory interval as a maximum, not a target, and to shorten it if you regularly drive in severe conditions. Most independent shops recommend cutting the factory-listed interval by a meaningful margin for direct injection and turbocharged engines specifically. And that small extra expense in oil changes is dramatically cheaper than any of the repairs described earlier in this video. Check your owner's manual for the separate severe service maintenance schedule that most Kia models include alongside the normal schedule. If you regularly deal with short trips, extreme temperatures, dusty roads, or heavy stop-and-go traffic, that severe service table is almost certainly the one that actually applies to you, even if the dealership defaults to quoting the standard interval when you book a service appointment. Feature number 8. Leaving drive mode locked in sport. Many Kia models offer selectable drive modes, typically normal, eco, and sport, that adjust throttle response, transmission shift mapping, and in some cases, steering weight. Sport mode holds gears longer, downshifts more aggressively, and lets the engine spend more time at higher RPM, which is genuinely fun for a spirited backroad drive, but is a completely different story when it becomes your everyday commuting setting. Running sport mode constantly in ordinary stop-and-go driving means the transmission is working harder than it needs to, generating more heat and cycling through more aggressive shifts far more often than the drivetrain was designed to handle as a daily baseline. Over years of ownership, that added heat and mechanical stress can shorten the life of transmission fluid and accelerate wear on clutch packs or torque converter components, depending on the transmission type in your specific model. Sport mode isn't dangerous to use occasionally, and it's there for a reason. The mistake is treating it as your default setting rather than an occasional choice for a specific stretch of road. Save it for when you actually want the sharper response, and let the car default back to normal or eco for the daily commute where that extra aggression isn't doing anything except adding wear. The bottom line: none of these 8 items make Kia a bad brand to own. Every one of them is manageable, and in most cases the fix costs nothing more than a little attention and the right maintenance habits. What they have in common is that they're the kind of thing a dealership finance office never mentions at signing, and a lot of owners only learn about after the damage is already done. Use the correct AGM battery, stay ahead of carbon buildup, respect the turbo's oil needs, avoid riding a dual-clutch transmission in traffic, clear your sunroof drains twice a year. Take any knock warning seriously, shorten your oil change interval if you drive in tough conditions, and save sport mode for when you actually mean to use it. Do all of that, And your Kia has every chance of being one of the reliable ones instead of a cautionary tale in someone else's video. Most of what separates a Kia that's still running strong at 200,000 miles from one that isn't comes down to habits like these rather than luck. And every single habit on this list is completely within your control starting today. If you found this useful, subscribe for more honest breakdowns of what actually keeps a Kia running strong for the long haul, and drop a comment letting me know which of these 8 surprised you the most.